My name is Khaya Witbooi. My grandfather gave it to me. In our culture, I suspect that for a firstborn, you get to get a name like that. In a sense, it accommodates everyone within the family structure, and also like it sort of like loads you with the responsibility. Literally, it means our home. But then you don't always interpret names directly. And the Witbooi part, if you go to the Eastern Cape, there's a lot of people that are known by that surname. Meaning it's either people who were crossing borders and they needed like something that could be an instrument to make them easy to blend. My work, where it was established, why it was established and when, it goes back to a couple of years ago. I've already mastered like the craft of painting, sketching and all those things. For me, it came as this one big ball where I can put everything that I've learned like from all these years in which I got involved, and it sort of like felt like I need a way to not lose any one of the things that I've learned to do, and I need to find a way to express myself using all the languages I've learned. When I returned from Pretoria, like in 2011, my only intention and mission for coming here was to sort of like learn and look at what the art scene is all about, and see what makes art in Cape Town, what is the interpretation of art. And funny enough, when I came here, I looked around and I felt like I need to find myself within this environment. I need to define myself and have an identity. So moving from gallery to gallery, just checking out work with a couple of friends who would drive around just to give me like a feel of what it is. It got to a point where now I knew what it's all about. Then I had to get a body of works together and then introduce myself as an artist. You want to do something that would look as if it's that when it's actually not. You want to use a stencil to have a feel of like a print when it's actually not a print. So that you can find that place in the viewer's mind that feels like they don't know whether they've been cheated or they don't know whether they've been given something more. Whenever you want to do something new, like as a South African, you always have to be conscious of like how art is treated here and what would make your own interpretation of art find its acceptance. So those are the things. Basically, if I was just like maybe a lazy person who would want to do something so easy and that doesn't intrigue or invite anyone to think deeper about what I do, then I guess it would just be graffiti. My message is not just one specific line or a paragraph, because it hits on so many things that are happening like from day to day. Meaning that I could feel like I have an idea about something today, but it's only enough for that day. It's only enough for that time frame when it still makes sense. It's still like relative. But from time to time you find content that will sort of like be parallel with that is happening around the country, in the people, in the township, within yourself. So it's basically those things. There's not like this one solid line that I can use as a stamp that this is my message. My message is very serious, and the fact that I do it in a playful way is because you are also conscious of what people want to see in their living rooms and wherever the space would be where the art gets to go. Because at the very same time, you could be talking about like a conscience-provoking idea, but you want the person to get the idea, but at the same time to not feel like repelled from the work. They must still see the creativity. They must still see the side to it that says about me. It doesn't come from a person who has no respect for other people. Because at the very same time, you can disrespect a person but in a very polite way, and say what you want to say about them, and not have them feel like that was too harsh, so you don't get like a harsh response from them, but at least they get what you were trying to say. If you could get to a point where you know that the audience that it's intended for like receives it, and they get to sort of like weigh the views and see whether it's relevant. You can say any story, but at the very same time get the people that the story is about, and they say, well, he got that right, then you're doing something. Being a revolutionary for me, it means transforming things and taking things to a different platform where it gets people to pay attention. Basically, I wouldn't feel anything good about a piece, whatever I do, until it gives a new perspective like to life and to things in general. I'm a person who tries to find like a merging line between black and white artists, where if I'm doing this work and being a black artist, it's not looked at as something that's coming from this community or that community. In the aspect of cultural identity, when you're dealing with like a new idea, when you're dealing with like a new language, it's a very tricky point, because you're saying things that are spoken about around the world, and sometimes you even stand far from where you come from to express a point about something that is universally felt. So it's enough that I, as a person, am a South African, but I think there are limitations if I were to label myself as a South African artist. There are people that will look at your art and not find relevance. So you use a language that you know that for anyone who's from anywhere, they will still get the idea and they will still love the story. I mean, I would lack words. I would not find my diction if I were to stick with my own language, with my own accent in terms of what I do. So I tend to use a language and a diction that is universally known, so that in the chance I find growth beyond where I come from, then I could still be able to speak. I've attached myself to faith and belief, because it's an anchor. It's something that you feel whenever you move too far, so that you don't drift away from your shores and the place where you want to be. And in fact, in my artwork, I show a lot of spirituality, because I think if you spiritually are awakened, it will show in the thing that you do every day. It will show in your manner of communicating.